We love a good sitcom. We loved we loved Young and Hungry.
Obsessed.
A lot. Like, we were really obsessed with that show.
I go back and watch it all the time. Well, because the Netflix, like, I feel like you specifically, Emily, have been involved in Netflix so much recently, which is so great. Like, not only between, being on the Kaminsky Method and now Pretty Smart, and you can watch Young and Hungry, all the episodes on Netflix also.
Are they still on Netflix?
Pretty sure.
Oh, it is, because I still go back and watch.
Take it off and put it back on.
Yeah. You never know with those shows. Sometimes they jump around all over the place, but Young and Hungry, definitely, I think you can check it out there. So you're involved with Netflix. What drew you to this show particularly?
Yeah, sure. I remember the day I got the call from my team, and anytime your entire team is on the phone, you're like, I'm either in trouble or this is a very cool project. And they sent it over, and I was not at the place where I wanted to do another sitcom, and that's just a testament to how good it was. And I thought I was kind of done with that part of my life. I had sort of been like, okay, I've done quite a few of these. I'm ready to move on to something else. And then I talked to Jack and Doug. I knew Greg was going to be on board, and it just made sense. And like you said, I've worked with Netflix before. They're a huge enterprise. They're a wonderful company. I have another animated show that's coming out with them next year, and I Kaminsky Method, of course, and Young and Hungry, and it just felt like, okay, this seems like the right move. And I love the opportunity to play a buttoned up intellectual. That's unfortunately rare for a blonde and hot. So.
I was gonna say, maybe you had felt like you had moved away from sitcoms, but this particular role was, it felt very different. Like I felt like you weren't just jumping into like playing a Gabby Diamond again, where it's the cute, adorable blonde that everyone loves, but like kind of does like silly stuff. And Chelsea is so different.
If it was similar, and of course I have so much love for that show. I'm happy for the run that it had, but it was ready to end, even though it was slightly prematurely.
Sorry.
I'm upset about that.
It's kind of bullshit.
Our heart every time we talk about it. How do you picture that show, that character ending? Like, what do you imagine was the end game for Gabby?
Well, the thing was, we had a movie that we were supposed to shoot that was going to wrap up the entire series, and I read it, and they were going to go to Ireland, and they were going to get kidnapped, and Josh was going to go rescue them, and there was like this hilarious, as you can imagine, hijinks.
Yep.
I in my opinion, obviously he's going to say yes. I believe it's been so long. She had been offered a job in another city, Seattle or something, and she was going to go up there, and I think he probably would have found a way to be there with her, and I would have done one final episode maybe like 5 years later or something. I think that would have been fun.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned that you didn't see yourself doing any more sitcoms, but you really do have such great comedic timing. I think that every show that you're in, you make me laugh so much. But what is like your dream role besides the sitcom world?
Oh man, I mean, I was just saying this earlier. It's funny when people say like, what are you going to do next? What's your dream role? And I feel like in a lot of ways, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of control over that. It's just kind of whatever finds you. And that's been I've been doing this for so long, and that's been a really lovely mindset to take on, of just, the harder you fight for something, the more it seems to slip away. And the more I just kind of relax and say, hey, I might not work for a few months this year, or maybe I'll work really, really hard for a few months and then I won't work again. And whatever comes your way is meant for you. And this came at me like a force, and it was like, okay, I feel like I have to do this. And especially after the year that we've had, the year and a half that we've had, it felt like it's time to make people feel joyful again. And this is such a help for that.
Yeah.
You're also, you're so young, and we're very similar in age.
So hungry.
Yeah, it's so hungry. Yes, we're similar in age, but because I feel like we all kind of grew up watching your shows, and you've done so many amazing shows. Like, the possibilities are so endless for all the things you can do, and we're so excited to keep watching everything that you do. And what's cool is there's this family dynamic that feels like it's been created in these shows that you are on, and it already feels that way with Pretty Smart. The cast is really great, and even just from watching the first few episodes, because like I said, I'm not going to give anything away, the chemistry you guys all have, like right off the bat, is really, really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel the same. I mean, was a little ridiculous how well we all got along. Cynthia and Greg and I are neighbors. Michael, of course, came in from New York for this, but Michael and I have friends in New York that are similar, and Olivia and Michael had known each other before, and we'd spend every lunch hour together. We were at my house every weekend. Cynthia would come over and cook for everybody. It felt like family, and I was never in a sorority, but I remember being in college and feeling like, how can you just trust that you're going to put all these women in a room together and they're just all going to like each other? Right. That just seems so crazy.
I agree.
And then, right? And then I did a show like this, and you think, okay, we're going to get 5 actors in a room together and they're all going to like each other. That seems a little nuts. And then it happened, and it's so wonderful when that does, because I feel like it's rare, and we're all around, and we're also all around the same age, mm-hmm. which I think is also lovely. I've worked on a lot of shows before where there's a distance and a disconnect, and people are at different points in their life, and we were all kind of in the same place in our lives, and it just felt so easy to fold into that. And I think it's a testament to how genuine and natural it seems, and they're just such great people. I'm glad you got to talk to Greg. He's just
it just makes it makes watching a show where they're all roommates and living together, and at this point when you guys are actually all the same age, it's just a lot more easier. It's easier to digest. Like, you're like, this makes sense.
Yeah. And like you said it seems like it's rare. I was going to ask, how often does that happen when you're on a set and most people are getting along, or has it happened where you join a set and you're like, all right, these people, I like them, but we're not going to be the best of friends?
Yeah, I think there's also a good mentality to keep in mind when you are working, that you are working. Yeah. And sometimes it's hard to differentiate between, oh man, I really like this person, they're my new best friend, and like, wow, I really get along with this person, I respect them, and I need to be professional. And there's been times in the past where it's gone too far one way and too far the other way. And this cast has a really nice respect for each other. Everybody's very professional. We deeply care about each other, and we all work really well together. So unfortunately it is rare, and I've also worked on shows where, I just worked with Michael Douglas, who, is a little older than me, and still you find a
just
connection
a
with people. But there is always something to gain from every cast that you work with, and working with an ensemble teaches you how to play with others, and it's important.